Hello. Let me get my phone set up. I apologize. It should have already been set up before I even came on here. I'm so sorry. I promise I'll be done. Let me just get I have like these cute lights here. They're literally so cute. I bought a bunch of like new lights. Ooh. And now I'm just learning how to move these things. Wait, no, that's not right. Okay, wait a minute. Like that. Okay. All right. Lighting is good. Wait a minute. Why is it that when I'm moving? Okay, that's perfect. Hi, y'all. Hello, hello. A really good conversation for today. I'm so excited. This is going to be a very good conversation. I'm really excited. Calling your power back. I will be touching on Perez Hilton in a little bit. Because of course, as I always say, life is spiritual, and what had happened to Perez Hilton is a spiritual thing. Okay. As I always say, you guys just live your life and be happy. Stop messing with people. Don't make people's life harder. There's a price for that. Okay. Just mind your business. Focus on yourself, pay your bills, go to the gym, drink your water, drink your coffee if you're a coffee drinker like me, and just leave people the hell alone. To not be calling negative things back to you. So I will have a video going out on Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton is paying a spiritual debt, just like what happened to Whitney Houston. Um, when you make your entire life purpose to alter people's happiness and joy, and you're taking it upon yourself to make things hard on people as a living, what's going to happen is you're building spiritual debt. Now, I did a video about this before my last spiritual warfare class. I think it was 4 months ago, where I said there's spiritual debit and there's spiritual credit. You guys remember that video? You want to have a bunch of spiritual credit, meaning a lot of good things that are waiting to come back to you in the future. You don't want a bunch of spiritual debit. Okay. When you have spiritual debt, that means that you have crushed innocent people, hurt innocent people. You have made your entire career being a blogger or a vlogger, that talks bad about people's personal life, talks about people's kids, all that stuff. When that is your career, like what happened to Bryce Hilton, eventually you will end up losing your mind. You will. That's why when I saw what happened to Wendy Williams, I was like, okay, what did you guys think was going to happen to her? She was going to like walk off happy ever after in the sunset. I'm not celebrating what happened to her, but I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. You probably, went years and years and years without putting any positivity into the world, just making people feel bad about themselves. So that's building spiritual debit, which is why I'm going to talk about calling your power back, because some people can still have your power with them. Exes, ex friends, I call my power back to me every single night before I go back to bed, especially as an online person. Um, I always call my power back to me from every person, from every place. Luna, I do appreciate you asking your questions, my dear, but when I first start my live, you have to wait before you kind of just come in with a question that has nothing to do with the main topic I'm speaking on. I just started. So I always start my messages with the topic at hand first. I can answer it a little bit later on. If you're still on, you can comment it again. But I always start my lives with a message, and I like to stay focused on that message until it's completed so the people can learn, and then I'll move on to questions later on. So if you're still here, you can ask that question in a little bit when we get to the question part. But I'm talking about calling your power back right now. So, calling your power back is important because sometimes people can be trying, to make your life heavy. And when you call your power back from that person or that place, if they were illegally accessing your energy without your permission, things in their life will start to go bad, right? I'll give you an example. This has happened to me in my life about 3 times. You call it back through a form of meditation, Tawaya. You sit down, you close your eyes. Of course, you pray for some time, and then you wait until your spirit and you feel a little bit like lucid, you know, and then you call your power back to you, and you close your eyes and you imagine the words coming out of your mouth traveling like lightning bolts, like lightning bolts going to different countries. This is what I imagine in my mind. When I'm saying that, I imagine the words coming off of my tongue going to different countries and islands like lightning bolts, retrieving my energy from anybody who may be trying to manipulate it wherever they may be. And I just imagine that in my mind as I call my power back. And then I remind myself that I belong to God. So my power should never be anywhere else outside of in here. And when you do this, especially if you name names, some people say, oh, you shouldn't name names. Some people can see people popping in and out of your dreams. So you can kind of tell if somebody is maybe trying to do some type of destiny swap with you. I had a young lady try to do that to me a couple of days ago. I saw it in my dream, an old family friend. So what you do is sometimes you can see them. The more you pray, and if you ask God for spiritual sight, you'll begin to see people who may be doing it. And then you can name their name, right? And then when you name their name, they're pretty much done because you know exactly who it is and you're calling your power back from that person's name, right? So with Perez Hilton, and I will do a video on him, I didn't know. So I used to think, okay, Perez Hilton is not really my generation, but I used to think that Perez Hilton and Paris Hilton were like siblings because I thought the names were similar. And I'm like, okay, they're brother and sister. I don't know why I thought that. But now they're saying that Perez Hilton made his name Perez Hilton because he was jealous of Paris Hilton, the lady. And he took her name and added a little twist to the spelling. And I believe they said that he would bully her a lot or something like that. I don't know. That's not my generation. So, or something like that. And that's how he got that name, right? So in a way, it's a form of physical bullying and it's a form of spiritual bullying. When you're trying to, I had a young lady on YouTube do that to me. She spelled out her YouTube name just like my name and added a little twist at the end. It's like a lot of women and men are weird, and you try to manipulate and tap into people's energy, and then you get upset when you lose your mind, right? And you get upset when things in your life start crashing down because you are supposed to be within your own energy. You're not supposed to be tapping into other people's energy. So sometimes, like Perez Hilton, he took Paris Hilton's name and changed the IS and added EZ, which is a form of kind of like a destiny swap in a way too. So this is why when I saw that video and people asked me, they said, oh, Mel, what do you think about it? I said, I don't know. I have to look. I don't run and feel bad for people because a lot of people are reaping what they've sown. I was taught since I was a little girl, my grandma said, Mel, do not run and feel bad for people. A lot of people are suffering the consequences of their deeds. So try to get the full story before you run and start feeling bad. So when I was told about it, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to look into that because I don't really know him. Maybe what can happen to him is innocent, or maybe that was a repercussion of his actions over the years. And I've come to the conclusion that it was probably a repercussion of his actions over the years. So that's just how life works. And when you're calling your power back to you, sometimes after you call your power back to you, pay attention to the people that are around you and how their lives change after you pray that prayer of calling your power back to you. There was a period of time where I called my power back from 2 people. Within 24 to 48 hours of me doing that, they both had somebody end up in the hospital. And they're 2 completely separate people. They live in different states. They don't even know each other. But these are 2 young ladies that I know were messing around in my energy for some time out of jealousy and envy. What is messing around in your energy? When women are going to other women to get readings about you, that's messing around in your energy. When women are trying to astral project or men are trying to astral project in your dreams, that's, again, that is spiritual bypassing. They're trying to pop up in your dreams. They're going around to people getting readings about you to find out about your life because they're obsessing over you. All of that is you manipulating someone's energy and trying to get into it. So when you do that, if that person calls their power back from you, you will absolutely get hit. Absolutely. Which is why you don't do that. If you don't know something about a woman, you don't know it about her, leave her alone. But trying to visit people to tap into her energy because you're so obsessed with her existence that you're trying to pull cards to find out, oh, is she this? Is she that? I don't even know. I know everybody has their different belief systems, but I don't even know why people entertain requests like that. I'm not going to pull somebody's life for you. Get over your obsession. That's bypassing. Let's focus on you. Why do we need to focus about her? You don't know her. And if you don't know certain details about her life, it's because you're not friends with her and it's none of your business. But when people let that obsession take over them, they start trying to spiritually bypass you. And when you call your power back or you call your energy back from them, somebody ends up, something bad ends up happening. So let me go through you guys' comments. How can you deal with spiritual abuse and orthodoxy? I don't know what orthodoxy is. I don't know if that's an environment or a church or something. I would just go somewhere else. You don't go to places of worship for abuse. You go to places of worship for peace, connection with God. You don't go there to get abused. So just find another place, okay? This confirms that I'm not going to this event tonight. I don't need to be everywhere. My cousin changed her last name to mine. Such a red flag. I'm curious about being mentored by you one day. Do you offer that service? I do, but mentorship with me requires interview. I don't take everybody on as a mentee who wants to be one. It has to be a spiritual and physical alignment that I have to confirm on my end. So you can definitely apply if you'd like, though it's on my website. You can just send in like a video request as to why you would like to be one, and then we can go from there. How do you stop it permanently in a God-ordained way? I had a dream of a distant friend who was a witch, but I have no contact with them. So when you're praying, you say something simple. You just say, Father God, this person, if they have been bypassing me in any way, I drag them to the throne of judgment because I serve a God of justice. When you pray like that. Can you tell us about signs of your energy being illegally accessed? So I will go into this a little bit more, you guys, in the Spiritual Warfare Part 3 Masterclass on the 15th. It's just a lot, and there's certain things that I don't like to say on here, but you will see. This is why dreams are important, right? And I'm going to talk about dreams on the class too. The master classes are $55 for one class, and $75 for 2 classes. And you always have access to go back to the recordings and rewatch any class that you have purchased, okay? Because the whole purpose of the classes are learning. I don't understand how people are charging people $500, $1,000 for classes or whatever. I think those people are not doing what they're doing with integrity. They're doing what they're doing to financially exploit people. That's the thing that's just me personally. So I make my classes very affordable so that no matter what race, what nationality, or where you are in life, you can afford them and you can learn. So that's the price for that. I'm in a spiritual warfare sign up, but last I checked, I didn't see the link yet. Did get it after the 3rd. I def need help battling witchcraft and destiny swappers. Did you get the link? Yeah, you just drag them to the throne. They can't escape the throne of judgment. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. I always say, what do I always say? What is the differences between how women and men attack? Men and women attack in very distinct ways, and I always mention them. How do men attack and how do women attack? Let's see if somebody has the answer. I say it all the time. How do men attack and how do women attack? You need to know this. You need to know this for your life. As a man or a woman, how do men attack and how do women attack? It's one word for each. And I've said it several times. Let's see if you guys have been paying attention. How do women attack and how do men attack? You need to know this. You got one, Evie. You got physically. Men usually attack physically throughout their lifespans. How do women attack? Thank you, Micaiah. Women attack spiritually. Women attack spiritually. That's how women fight. It's a spiritual thing. It's not necessarily physical. Men, it's more seen. It's very overt. It's very out in the open. With women, it's a snake in the grass kind of thing. So if they want to attack you, they're going to do it spiritually because you're never going to know that it's them, right? Unless you're in tune, unless you are, dedicated to God and you ask God to show you. Women attack in where they cannot get caught. So if your best friend puts you in a jar, you're never going to know. If God don't show you, you're going to just think that you and her are cool and you're in a jar in a graveyard somewhere. And your life is like all over the place, like a tornado, right? But you're never going to think it's her because she's just smiling and complimenting you all day until you go to bed. And if you're connected to God, you have a dream and you're like, oh, okay, she's messing around in my energy. She put me in a jar in a graveyard. Okay, I see what she has going on. But if you don't have insight, you're not going to know. Women rarely attack physically. It's a spiritual thing. Even if it's not doing stuff like that, it can be attacking you mentally, right? When women gather in groups on chats and they shred somebody's appearance and they shred somebody's kid, right? Women will post another woman's child and go in on the child. Like they do a lot of mental attacks and spiritual attacks. So to battle that, you have to understand. So I'll give you an example. There's a young lady that was a family friend of mine. Now, I've never really been close to her. I was close to her sister, right? But we kind of all grew up together. She's much older than me. And she, like I said in my last video, when God pushed me forward, yes, Manny, yes, that is an exception because it's a lot more feminine energy here, for more feminine energy there. So yes. So when things took off, I told you guys in my last video, the first thing that I did was I went to T-Mobile and I changed my phone number. And I changed my phone number because I knew I entered a new cycle of my life. And when I enter new cycles of my life, I want to leave all baggage behind. And I want to leave everything from the past behind. I never have a problem moving on. And that's one thing that I encourage men and women to do. Learn to move on. Learn to move on to the next season, right? There's always, you got to put in your mind, this is not the first, this is not the last. There's always something better out there for me. That's an abundance mindset. So I knew that I was in a new cycle, which I call cyclics. I talk about cyclics a lot in my Spiritual Warfare Masterclass Part 2. I spoke about cyclics. And I gave you guys an example of what that was. In Part 3, I'm going to talk about cyclic preservation, which is when you're in a new cycle of your life. That's a positive one, and preserving that. So when things took off, I went to T-Mobile and I changed my phone number. I changed my phone and I changed my phone number because there's only 3 people that I wanted to remain connected to me. The rest, I was willing to leave them in the old timeline. I didn't want to take them on into the new timeline. Especially when you get online and you start to grow online, this is where people, a lot of times who snubbed you or secretly didn't like you, Now they see that your gifts and your talents, now that it's on a grand scale, a lot of people enjoy it, and they always knew you had it. They were just jealous of it. But now that other people see it, they can't deny it. So now they want to, get in with it where they fit in, because they feel like, oh, I always knew you were going to, but that's not true at all. It's because other people have now accepted you, and other people have now seen that you are full of substance. It cannot be denied. So now they want to act like they always knew, when in reality, they have tried to make sure you didn't know who you were, right? So I got a new number and everything, because I didn't want to be communicating with anybody besides three people, right? And though out of those three people, two of them are my parents, because I'm very, like I said, I don't mind being known of, meaning an online person, but being known personally, I'm very, 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 very picky with people. Very, very, very picky. I'm good at having like three or four people. I don't need more than that. As far as directly connected to me, that's more than enough for me. So I changed my phone number. And a young lady that I know of, family friend that I told you about, was like reaching out very often, and that is actually what encouraged me to change my number, because it's like, um, I don't like me like that. Like, why are you, But again, when people see you got that movement now, they're trying to get in where they fit. So I moved on. I have one person. That is more than enough, Melissa. That's more than enough. That's more than enough. You don't need more. So listen, that happened, right? My mother called me and told me that she had a dream, right? This was a couple months ago. And she told me that that young lady was yelling at me in her dream, and screaming at me and shouting at me, and like trying to hit me and trying to jump on me and telling me what she's doing, I'm going to do it too, but better. And she was trying to attack me in the dream. So when my mother was telling me and my brother about this dream she had about that young lady, that was a family friend of mine that I don't speak to because I changed all my numbers and stuff. And my brother's like, oh, well, that's a spirit of jealousy. That means that she's like very, very jealous. So spiritually, that's just God showing her heart placement towards you. And this is not somebody, I was besties with her sister, not her. That's the weird part. But this is why I tell people, when God brings you into a new cycle, you cannot speak to people who knew who you were before you took off, because that's how they get. Right. So you have to change everything completely. And I knew that. So this is where dreams are important. I'll talk about dreams in the spiritual warfare masterclass part 3 next Sunday. If you're not dreaming, that should be a massive alarm bell for you. If you're not dreaming, I tell people, put the Mary Jane down, put the alcohol down. If you're blocking your dreams by way of substances, you're blocking your power, because God speaks to us through dreams. So if you're not dreaming and you can't dream, or you're not sleeping, or somebody's stressing you out, and you're sleeping in increments where you're getting up at 3 a.m, you don't remember your dreams, you don't see your dreams, that's a way of not having no power, because how are you going to see what's going on spiritually if you don't dream? That's not how it's supposed to work. You need to dream, right? And we'll talk about dreams in the masterclass too. So I had a very, very disturbing dream of this young lady again. A couple days ago, I had a dream that I was like in this place and I was about to do something, and she rushed ahead of me and she said, "Oh, wait, Mel, before you start, let me start first." And like she rushed in front of me, and basically she took over the time that I was supposed to have to speak. Right? And she had all these like suitcases and papers and notebooks and all this stuff with her. And in the dream, I got up and I went up to her. I said, "That's enough. Like, you're like interrupting my time. You're not even supposed to be up here. You didn't work to be up here. I worked to be up here. Please leave." And in my dream, I asked the other people there, assist her in getting her stuff out. I don't even want a bobby pin of hers here. I want all of her stuff cleared out. Pick up all of her stuff, put it in the hallway. I don't even want a bobby pin from her here. Get all her crap out. And I woke up from the dream and it's like, okay, destiny swap failed. It's like, and these are the type of things that you have dreams about. And this is what women do. It's these spiritual attacks, and they think you're not going to see them. when you go to bed. They think they're not going to pop up in your dreams. You can't cloak yourself from everybody, ma'am. Some people will see you and they will see you clearly. Okay. So when I'm like, okay, so let me add this lady's name to my prayer list because clearly she don't want to leave me alone. Let me add her to my prayer list. It's like the obsession of, again, wanting what another woman has. I've never been that way. I have never wanted what another woman has. And that is why God has blessed me so abundantly, and he will continue to. I don't take time out of my life to focus on other women in their personal lives and retrieving what they have going on for myself. I have never been that way. I don't understand the point of being hyper focused on another woman's life. I don't understand that. It's weird. It's a sign of deep wound. I don't know. I don't understand stuff like that. I don't get it, right? I don't get it, but I am aware of it. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I got to pray about this person and see what God does about this person because it's like an obsession that doesn't want to go away. I don't understand what it is. And how do you fight back in your dreams? If you can't fight back in your dreams, it's because your prayer life is weak. If your prayer life is strong, every time somebody chases you in a dream, they're not going to catch you. They won't be able to catch you. You're always going to outrun them. That's your strength. If you're being caught in your dreams, if you're being dragged in your dreams, if you're getting beat up in your dreams, that means you're very weak. No, I don't have recommendations for stronger prayers. I always tell people I don't really recommend prayers. I do recommend prayer points. Star, if you send me an email, I can share with you the prayer point list. I've shared it with many of the students on the spiritual warfare class. So if you want a prayer point list, just some points to mention when you pray, I can share that with you. If you send me an email, I'll send it to you. It's because I smoke too much. Yeah, if you smoke, it's gonna block you. You won't be able to dream. It's a sedative. Alcohol and Mary Jane are sedatives. Like they put your body in this like sleep mode, and it's worse because now things can attack you and enter you quicker because you're not strong. That's the problem. Sometimes you have to give that up. So I don't do consultations via emails or anything like that, style those. I just want to let you know. If you do want to ask your question in the chat and stuff, you can. But if you want the prayer point, I can send that list. I can send it to you too. I find my tribe. Okay, so what was I saying again? Yeah, yes. Oh, so the email is yourlevelupguru@aol.com. What was I saying? Oh crap, I forgot. Okay, so when you take that is actually one of the number one things that I use to encourage people to stop drinking and stop smoking. How spiritually strong do you want to get? If you want spiritual strength, you're going to have to give that stuff up. If that stuff, it makes you so weak spiritually, I can't even tell you how weak it makes you. What do you want more? Protection or getting on? And that's not me judging. I used to get on all the time. Let me tell you, okay. I'm not going to open up those can of worms. I'm not talking down on anybody. No, I used to get on, okay? Because I'm a feeler. So I used to need to escape a little bit. I'm not talking down on anybody when I say that, but I'm saying that at some point I was like, I got to give this up in totality. I can't have this in my life anymore. Because I need to be able to fight back spiritually, and this thing be making me weak. So I had to stop taking it. And again, I'm not talking down on you guys when I say that. Like I used to get on a little bit. I used to float in the air a little bit because I needed to, escape some things because life will for sure give you a behind whooping sometime. So, but I had to give that up. And most people, especially if you're, I always tell people I'm not a performative Christian. So I'm not going to act like I'm picture perfect, squeaky clean, the most pure person in the world. I don't believe in that stuff. It's performative. And it's a lot of people that act like that. They're lying. I used to get on all the time. Okay. But I had to get rid of that because I wanted protection more. I wanted God more. I wanted more spiritual strength. And I wanted to be able to knock somebody's teeth in dreamland. If someone tried to attack me in my dreams, I wanted to be able to knock their teeth in. And unfortunately, you don't have the strength to do that. You know, if especially if you go to bed high, oh no, they're gonna beat your behind in dreamland. You're gonna get jumped, kicked in the rib cages, and you will not be able to outrun who's chasing you. Like once I started to connect how things affect us spiritually, that's when I'm like, nah. And I did speak about that in spiritual warfare part 2, where I was telling people, you if you got to go to therapy, go to therapy. If you got to go to a doctor, go to a doctor. If you can't, stop drinking and you need to see, a psychiatrist or something like that, that'll give you like a pill or two that you take every day to curb the cravings or curb the cravings for the Mary Jane. Do what you have to do to get that thing out of your life. Okay, it's only going to drain you. You're not going to be you're going to be malnourished because it curbs your hunger, or you're going to get big if you get the munchies after the Mary Jane. Don't do it. And then your life will pass you by. Your whole life, you just spent 10 years smoking. That's all you remember the last 10 years. You don't even remember anything because you were high all the time. You were always high. You don't remember Christmas in 2028. Well, no, we're not there yet. In 2018, you don't even remember. But you don't remember the last 10 years of your life. You don't remember it because you were high every single day. Do not waste your life. Don't waste your life. It's hard. I understand. It's a battle because it's a stronghold. And we will talk about strongholds in spiritual warfare part 3 as well next Sunday. It's a stronghold. A lot of that stuff is spiritual. Every time you try to stop, you fall right back into it. You try to stop, you fall right back into it. You try to stop, you fall right back into it. Or you stop for 2 weeks and then you start having dreams of you smoking. It's like the spirit is calling you back in again. It's that stuff is a massive demon. Like, you'll cut out the alcohol and have a dream of you at a bar. I'm telling you, that stuff is spiritual. Like, you have to fight it. You have to fight it. You have to fight it. You strengthen your armor. Exactly, pretty lady. And that's the thing. The goal is you want to be strong. I remember all the time where I was doing the Mary Jane a little bit just a couple years ago, and all the people that are gonna say, "Oh well, she's a fake Christian," because I thought she was a Christian. Okay, you believing that Christian people are, first of all, you can be born and raised in the church and in a Christian household and you're still backsliding because you don't want to surrender to God completely. So yeah, I've had seasons in my life where that was the case. And I was having a little Mary Jane and a little bit of red wine to calm myself down one night. And I went to bed, y'all, and I got jumped, y'all. I'm telling you guys, I got my butt kicked. They whooped my behind and yeah, I got dragged, and I've never had a dream of getting jumped before. It was like I got my behind, y'all. They was holding my head and they was kicking me in the head and pulling. I got my behind kicked, boy. Like, I got my butt handed to me on a platter. They whooped my behind in that dream, y'all. It was like 5 girls. I don't know what happened. I remember being on the floor in the dream saying, "Stop, stop, stop." And they just kept hitting me with their feet and kicking me and punching me. And then in the dream, I had to go to the hospital on a stretcher because spiritually I was so weak. And then when I woke up from the dream, I said, I'm never having this stuff again. The next time somebody attack me, they're going to get their behind kicked to them the next time. Right? That, I had to learn the lesson. And I feel like when I woke up from that dream, I feel like God was telling me, you better get yourself together, Mel. You better get yourself together. You better get yourself together. So I got those things out of my life. I don't want nothing about that. Hand me the mocktail. If I want a little high of some sort, I'll go sit by the beach and have the beach winds flow on me and close my eyes. I don't want any substances or anything like that around me ever again. All that stuff is going to do is get you beat up spiritually. Every time you go to bed, you're going to be getting dragged. No, thank you. No. So not into that. So not into that. It blocks you spiritually. You can't, your visions are blurry. If you're the type of person where you usually see things before it happens, once you invite substances into your life, you can't see nothing. You're like, I used to see things all the time when I was younger. Yeah, because you were sober. You weren't on anything. And a lot of the stuff that people take now, it's not even real. Like taking Mary Jane now, a lot of that stuff is laced. That is very dangerous. Like the psychiatric units at hospitals are full of people that got laced from Mary Jane. It's very scary. It's not real. A lot of it's not real. It's not real at all. The drinks are spiked. This young lady, I think she was having some type of alcohol. I forgot what it was. She put it in the freezer, and when she took it out, the alcohol literally looked like gel. Like it didn't look like a frozen drink. It looked like gel mixed with glass. Like, what are you putting in your body? You know? So you got to get rid of that stuff if you want to be stronger. Yeah, you got to get rid of that because it's not real. Thank you, Big Green Beans. I have very vague dreams, never really negative or positive. What about trying to speak in my dreams, but when I try to speak, my voice diminishes? You got to get stronger. You're a little weak. You got to get stronger. That's what that means. Or you're running in a dream and you're running really slow. You got to get stronger. Yeah, you got to get the substances out of your life. If I'm genuinely trying to get over a toxic ex and I keep dreaming about him, what does that mean? Was he ever involved in any like woo-woo stuff? Because sometimes they attach them, they bind themselves to you. So every time you try to leave, you keep like having dreams about them because they're binding themselves to you because they want you to always come back. No matter how far you run, they want to be able to reel you back. So you gotta find out what's going on with that. You got to find out what's going on with that. They do that to just bother you, right? Okay. Being 100% honest, I partake in Mary Jane, but I don't abuse it. That's good. At least you don't abuse it and still have vivid dreams, but I have a strong prayer life. Good. Good, girl. As long as you can pray. I want everybody to pray. That's my goal. Yeah. Let's start a prayer circle. Please, everybody just pray. Pray. What do I say? Just pray. Ask him for what you need. Okay? Ask him for what you need. Tell him what you need. Tell him what you need. Pray from your soul. Tell him what you need, okay? Okay. It's been my first year in college, and drinking has been so traumatic for me already because it's not real. A lot of times it's not even real, and it's just don't do it. I was addicted to cigarettes, but I feel I went through a spiritual upgrade and now I no longer crave it. Beautiful. Beautiful. That it got pulled out of you. That's very good. That's very good. And that's the thing that, and that's why I always say that I am spiritual, meaning, very, very connected to God and the Holy Spirit, but I'm not religious, meaning most people who are Christians would never come on here and say all that because they want to look as perfect as possible. I don't judge you if you smoke. I don't judge you if you drink. Just try to get rid of it. Try your best. Put your best foot forward. If you relapse, try again. Pray and ask God to get it out. If it's a thorn, if it's because there's some pain that you're in and it's connected to the pain that you've dealt with throughout your life, ask God to heal you. Okay, but you got to pray to get it out completely. Okay, I know sometimes you're like, oh God, I needed an escape. I understand. I understand. I'm not judging you. I understand. I've been there. Trust me. I understand. Yeah. Oh gosh, you had an infertility dream that started right after marriage. Did you take any gifts at your wedding? Brides are not supposed to take gifts at their wedding. If you're a bride and you get married, have a gift registry from Amazon and the gifts get shipped directly to your house. Do not have anybody come to your marriage, come to your wedding and bring physical gifts because they know after marriage is baby. So if they don't want growth within that couple, they can lace a gift and give it to you. So now you have childbearing problems after your marriage. Because usually after women get married, if they want children, they want to start working on that. They want to break the honeymoon bed and get that baby where it needs to be. Okay. Okay. So I always tell, if you're a wife, you just got married, don't even touch the gift. Don't even allow them to bring it with them. They can do the Amazon registry. And I have an example of what I'm talking about. So what do I always say? Men attack physically, women attack spiritually, right? And I'll go into in the spiritual warfare class next Sunday. This Sunday is archetypes part 2. Next Sunday is spiritual warfare part 3. Can somebody put a link to my website in both of the chats for anybody who wants to sign up? $55 for one class and $75 for the bundle. You'll always have access. The classes are about 4 hours. Very powerful classes. But one thing I want to say is this. Because I said men attack physically, women attack spiritually. And I will give the reasons why on the course, why women choose to attack in a spiritual way as opposed to men who are more and more physical. A woman can be at your wedding and come to your wedding and secretly she doesn't like you, right? And you have no idea. So she brings you a gift of some sort. And you take the gift, you touch it. It could be something you wear, like a necklace or stack rings or a dress or lingerie, right? A lot of times when a woman gets married, women will buy her lingerie, look sexy at the honeymoon, break the bed with your husband. You guys are in covenant now, so you can break the bed, right? So they get you really cute lingerie from Victoria's Secret and all that stuff. But if they secretly don't like you, you don't know if maybe they'll say a prayer or something. On the whatever they buy you. So there was this young lady. I don't know if I could find the video. Maybe I'll find it and do a full video on it. A young lady, she's African. I saw this video 5 years ago. She got married, big African wedding, bunch of gifts, like 2 U-Haul trucks full of gifts, because Caribbeans, Latins, and Africans do it real big when it comes to celebration. Like, we do it big, right? After she got married, her and her husband started like fighting and fighting. It was like this air of fighting between the two of them. Like, it was like, hold on, you guys, I'm sorry. I just remembered I have to send this. Hold on, you guys. Let me call I was supposed to send something very important. 1 second, you guys. Hello? Okay, well, I sent you a text, so just look at it, okay? Okay, honey. Bye. What did I say? What was I saying? Okay. So her and her husband kept fighting and fighting. Like, they were in love. Like, they've never fought like that before. They said, we're gonna go sit with our pastor because we don't fight. Like, they were ready to like jump on each other and like beat each other up. Like, they've never did that before. So they go to the pastor. All right, Christina, I got your email, my dear. I will send you the prayer point list right when I get off this. Okay. So anyways, okay, so they went to her pastor, and her pastor is like, okay, well, let's pray about this. Let's figure out what's going on with this. So they prayed about it, and the pastor said, you have a gift in your house. Did you guys go through all the gifts? And she's like, no, we didn't. We didn't even open them. Like, this just started happening. We didn't even have time to go through them. He said, I want your dad. Cecilia, send me an email. I want your dad and your husband to go through those boxes. You stay away from those boxes. Don't touch anything. Sit down and watch them go through it, because it was created for you, right? So she sat down, and he told her the gift is a red gift. I don't know why it's red. It's a burgundy red. It's the only red gift that's in there. It's something you're supposed to wear. Go through it and bring it to me. So she sat there, and her husband and her dad go through the gift or whatever, and they find it. It's like this red beaded necklace that her aunt, we love those aunts, right? That her aunt bought for her. And They find it. He can't touch it, right? They bring it back to the pastor, and the pastor, says a prayer to cancel it, to cancel whatever was wrapped around it. And then they burned it and disposed of it, the pastor. And the pastor told her that wasn't a necklace. Spiritually, that's a serpent. And the minute you put it on, it was going to wrap around your ovaries. The serpent that's in the necklace, it was going to wrap around your ovaries so that you and your husband don't ever have children. So that's why I said, men attack physically, women attack spiritually. With women, you're never going to know. It's very under the table. You have to be very, very aligned with God to find out how a woman truly feels about you, because a lot of it is very covert. So that's why I tell women all the time, when you're getting married, first of all, don't take gifts from anybody. I don't really like the whole gift thing. But if you're getting married, do an Amazon wedding registry where you can eat. First of all, I think you should, if a woman's getting married, you actually want something you like and you're going to use, right? So at least if you do your wedding registry, people can see the type of stuff that you need and the type of stuff you're going to use, and they can order it and it'll all get delivered to your house. Nobody has to touch anything. Same thing with baby showers. If you're about to have a baby, don't allow nobody to bring gifts, okay? They can baby registry on Amazon, and all the gifts will be shipped to your house. And then after it's shipped to your house, you can create a cute little gift table at the baby shower. Because look at what happened to me when I was a baby, my mom had a huge baby shower for me, that all of the nurses threw for her. It was a whole bunch of gifts, but look what happened to me. I didn't last more than 7 days. So you don't know, you don't know. So it's so important to just be on the lookout for stuff like that. Okay. You have so many vivid dreams when you're not drinking or smoking. You always fall back because you cannot get any rest or relaxation. You have to find different ways to. I always tell people, Mary Jane and the drinks are not the problem. You're just using it as a solution to the problem. I want to quit weed. Please help. Bring it before the throne of God. He'll help you. Only God can help people quit substances. I'm telling you right now, because it's so wrapped around your soul, that type of stuff. That's why it's so hard to shake. A female coworker called me to ask about a locker that I don't use back in March. Called me and asked me about the same thing, as if she just wants to spy and see what I'm doing. Well, just don't entertain it. As I pray, to live hostess will pray for me and my children, because I'm attempting to get me and my second child to safety. Yet I remember getting almost beat up in school, and whatever entity was attached to her, as I later found out she was not Christian, although the school would try to come in my dreams and beat me. Mel, your vids have helped me put up and stand on boundaries. My life has been peaceful. Great. That's wonderful. Alcohol is horrible for the body. It is. It's an inflammatory. It'll inflame everything. You're going to be like a blowfish all the time. The after high feels the worst. Yeah, you feel very depressed. That's when everything just comes back and slaps you in the face. You only got to escape for a little bit, and then when you calm down, the same problems come back again. So it's like you can't really use it as an escape, because it don't work. What works is getting rid of the problem, whatever it is. I used to have dreams about running so fast I started flying, and also always being able to escape and rebuke things. My obsessive ex of years always spun the block to me. I stopped viewing his Instagram because it was full of mental attacks, and he showed up in my dream state, like tugging on my subconscious. Oh, you got to break those ties. Are you Dominican? No, I'm Caribbean. I don't play about prayer. I pray 1 hour if I have to. I know that's right, Laura. I know that's right. Hi, Mel. Yes, MJ, almost, me back in the day. Oh, I thought you said Michael Jackson. I'm like, oh, honey, there's not going to be any Michael Jackson slander in here. If anything, Michael Jackson was trying to escape the bad people. I almost blocked you for a second. I thought you meant Michael Jackson. You guys know I don't play about Michael Jackson. I know he wasn't perfect, and I don't idolize anybody, but the one celeb that I'm going to step for is Michael Jackson. I don't play about Michael Jackson. I do not play about him, okay? He was a special one. I'm not saying he was perfect. He should have fully submitted his life to God. I understand that. But I don't play about Michael Jackson. So when I read her comment, I'm like, MJ tried to unalive you. Girl, when? How? But now I notice you mean Mary Jane. Okay. Okay. Your lungs felt like it was closing. At the same time, my head felt like it was expanding. I read an article saying my experience was real. Yeah, it's just you got to get away from it. It's trying to swallow you up. Uh-huh. Church was one of the most toxic environments I've ever been in. Oof. Gosh. All right, y'all. What's the meaning of a dove? Doves are beautiful. So you're not religious, but a spiritual Christian, simply curious. So I am a Christian. I'm not religious, meaning I'm not performative. I am not here to tell everybody that I'm perfect and talk down on them and act like I don't have my struggles. I'm not here to act like God did not pull me from a dark pit. I'm not here to act like if somebody pisses me off, they may, I may tear into them a little bit. I'm not here to act like I'm above all those things. However, God is my savior. And I'm very open minded with connecting with God in many ways, meaning it's beyond just going to church. I believe God can speak to me in so many different ways. I'm not limited minded. I'm not going to walk around with a shower curtain on. Okay. I don't villainize beauty. I don't think beauty means that you're a Jezebel. I don't subscribe to all those ideologies. That's what I mean when I'm said I'm not religious. I don't believe that I can only be friends with Christian people. I don't believe that, I can't, play some Mary J. Blige during my workout. Like, I don't take things to the extreme a lot like the way they do, because God is beyond all that miniature stuff. That's what I mean. I don't believe in tearing people down and breaking people down and bullying people and forcing things on. I don't believe in that. I believe in the Holy Spirit. That's what I believe in. What about Christians that pray and do right, but God allows the constant attacks and stalker man that I never spoke to? He hacked my phone by getting my number and address. Somehow his wealthy man. Oh, BG, it sounds like you got a lot of problems, girl. That's some serious problems right there. Your phone getting hacked? I don't understand that. I always dream I'm running to catch the bus and make it just in time and wake up. That means somebody's trying to delay your life, my dear. You just got to pray against delay, okay? Some of us have been battling battles since birth. Oh, I hear you. You're looking at one right here. Oh, man. Oh, gosh, you're sober. You guys, let's give Claw Mahogany a heart and a clap. She's sober for 2 weeks. That's big. That's big. I'm proud of you. That's huge. You keep it going. Keep it going. Hopefully 2 weeks will turn into 2 years, will turn into 20 years. You keep it going. It's a massive demon. That's the demon that needs its behind kicked. Okay? I was wondering, do you believe in astrology? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I know sometimes I'll say, yeah, I was born in August and stuff here and there, but I don't believe that astrology determines the results of my life. God does. Fashion designer working on my label, taking my time. My church mentor sent me a video of a blind designer. What? A blind designer? That's her way of telling you this is what I'm going to do to you. I'm kidding. Relax. Well, that's pretty wicked. Okay, just cancel it, honey. Cancel it. Cancel it and start anointing your eyes. Okay? It's true. One of my aunts gave my mom a lace gift during her wedding. Luckily, my grandmother discerned it and they prayed with a pastor and threw it out. Oh no, I don't take gifts. No. Do we have access to past teachings for purchase? Yes. If it's a masterclass in the past, you can purchase the recording. Yep, all recordings are available. Oh, wow. Aunts are always the witches for some reason. I feel that way too. It's so weird. I don't know why. They just want to ruin the youth. It's always an aunt. Yep. And she always has a certain look to her. That's another thing too. The next class is the Sunday Star. Better sign up. Let me put can somebody put the yourlevelupguru.net classes link in the description, please? In the comment section, please. And I will put it on the live chat. Okay. The archetypes class is going to be very powerful. The first one is powerful. So you guys will definitely be very interested in seeing this new set of archetypes to see if that's what you are. And then using what you learn and safety measures to succeed. Can somebody put it in the chat for me, please? yourlevelupguru.net/classes. Copy, paste it in the chat on TikTok for me, please. I don't know how to pin things on here. I keep telling myself I'm going to figure it out. The aunts usually have a certain look to them. Thank you, Emily. You took the classes. I'm so happy you love them. They're really good. I have to like send out things so you guys can give your reviews because I have so many classes and I noticed I've never asked. I do have some people that have like sent me emails and stuff after the class, but I need to gather reviews. They always have a look to them. I made sure to pray last night and I dreamed I unalived a whole group of people trying to come in your house. Okay. I barely have dreams of people attacking me, but one time I had a dream of my cousin trying to attack me. I'm spiritually in a battle, counter defense, and I'm doing much reversal return to senders. This reminds me of the video I was watching. Love how you talked about baby Jesus and how it applies. What do you say after a dream to cancel it? On your other channel. Oh, baby, I love that episode on Children of the Light. I am going to do more episodes on baby Jesus because he was the first bright star. So every bright star archetype is going to go through what he went through, which is being hunted at birth. But he was two, bright star and a chosen one. He was both. That's why I said you can be both, right? My aunt hates the crap out of me and my husband. She can't have children and preys on my failure. She can't stand if I'm successful. Just how watching Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl is such a fun show. It's so fun. I had a dream that I was raped. In the dream, I was with a friend and her family. In the dream, my friend said it was my fault. Accusatory spirits. Recently found out that the inheritance that I have been teased about has placed me in the top 10%, maybe even lower than that. Spiritual projection is real. Thank you, Mel. You're welcome. How to break a curse a coworker did that made me leave a job. Oh, God. Not those. She forced you to leave? Yeah, you got to pray against energetic manipulation so people can't manipulate your energy and get you to stop doing things or stop showing up or leave a job or leave a church. That means they're playing around and you're manipulating your energy. I had a first lady do this to me because her husband could not keep his eyes to himself. And then I kept having dreams of me being chased out the church. And I know that she was doing work with a witch in there. To get me out. And I did leave because it wasn't the place for me anyways. The Holy Spirit wasn't there. It was just a bunch of darkness there and people posing as the Holy Spirit. But she did that to get me out the church. Hey, Mel. Hi. I had to step back from my best friend of 15 plus years last year because it was feeling draining and I couldn't focus on me. We haven't spoke since a year ago. Should I wish her a happy birthday tomorrow? Yeah, you can wish her a happy birthday, but do you want to connect with her? Because she's going to read you texting her happy birthday as you want to reconnect. Do you offer mentorships? I do. I distanced myself from my coworker because she was being passive aggressive. She would stare at me all day and try to get my attention by copying me and jumping up and try to walk in front of me. I only use ice cream. For what? I only use chocolate treats. Bueno wafers. What? I've been told to stop eating the ice cream she buys. You guys got to stop eating from people. You want something? Go buy it, ladies. Go buy your food. Okay. It's hard giving eye contact to people you know are toxic for you, especially coworkers in passing. I can't look them straight in the eyes when we're communicating. Yes, you were. Okay, so this is Archetype Part 2, you guys. Don't sign up for Archetype Part 1. That's a class that I already had. This is Part 2. Okay, the newer classes are always on the top. I've been having way more interactions with witches recently. It's crazy and wicked. Lost a job that was a catalyst for me to relocate as well. I really believe the owner was my destiny helper. Well, just pray it back in. So you just got to keep calling your power back, and it's something that you have to do all the time, and then you have to ask yourself, is my power feeling limited, stunted, manipulated, brain fog? Lots of brain fog. Am I having a lot of brain fog? And how do I get rid of that? You pray. I called my power back a couple weeks ago from two specific women that I had a feeling manipulated my outcomes in life at some point. Not now, but in the past when I was connected to them, and it was just bad news for them the next day. Be so careful. Okay. Hey Mel, about my birthday BFF, I just don't want to reconnect. So if you don't want to reconnect, don't send anything. If you don't want to restart talking again, don't send anything. Because if you send somebody happy birthday, they're gonna feel like you want to talk to them again. And meditation is everything to call your power back. Like just meditating, closing your eyes, rocking from side to side, and just imagine your power just coming back to you. You gotta use a lot of visualization when you pray. You gotta visualize it. You gotta see the picture in your mind to heighten the potency of what you're speaking. You gotta see it in your head as you're speaking it to yourself. You gotta see it in your mind. You guys have to get better at visualizing things. Visualizations are so powerful. You lay in bed and close your eyes and you see everything that you want. Or when you're praying, you're imagining what you're saying in your mind. I remember you saying you take ashwagandha, what benefits you get. I just take the little gummies from Publix. They're from Publix Greenwise. They're these cute little gummies. You just take 2. And if I'm feeling really stressed and I'm going to bed that night, I will pop 2 in my mouth and it will help me take that edge off. Okay. And I'll take my melatonin, not melatonin, my magnesium from Calm. And that's going to calm me down. And I'd rather take that than anything else. CBD, I don't know. Does CBD have Mary Jane in it? If it has Mary Jane in it, no. Do not fall for, okay. I had 2 plagues and 2 sicknesses in my house after your mom came to your house. Oh my God. Hi, I sent my dad a message a few months ago and he did reply to me. I was going to see a change. What? It's a component of Mary Jane. If you have a narcissist, first ladies are always the biggest demons in the church. Yikes. Yikes. First ladies are always the biggest demons in the church, and they manipulate everyone around them, including their husbands. The people they can't manipulate stick out like a sore thumb. Well, that first lady hated me because I didn't go to her. I think I didn't go to her women's group because I wasn't feeling her vibe. I'm really good at sensing people. I can sense who's genuine and who's just acting like they are. And I just had a feeling that she was a mean girl, like a narcissistic, like those narcissistic women that only have women empowerment events to feel like they're above other women. Because there's this picture I saw of her where she was sitting on a chair and all the women that went to her women's group were sitting on the floor. And that picture told me everything that I needed to know about her. Because why are you on a chair, aka a throne, and the women that are coming in to your event are sitting on the floor. I would never have women sitting on the floor because they're not beneath me. I would never have women sitting on a floor crisscross applesauce. She's disrespectful. So I think she kind of knew that I wasn't the type of woman. Me and her are not the same type of woman. You know, you're doing what you're doing to play a character. I do what I do because it's in me. And I'm not afraid to be the bad guy or the villain or to look like I show my claws. Okay? Women who are not kind and actually very, very evil, they try to hide their claws. They try to paint a picture that they're nice and kind, but you're not that. So I noticed that about her, a lot of disingenuous. And then when I saw that picture, I'm like, why is everybody on the floor? Where are the chairs, ma'am? And if you don't have the chairs, all the offering money you guys collect, buy a stack. You can buy a stack of chairs from any event company, 55 chairs for about $400 or $500, 55 chairs. And when those women come into your women's group, ma'am, put them. Okay, Areno, don't tell me to calm down. I'm going to block you. Okay, I'm going to block you. Today's not a good day for this. Okay, I'm going to block you. Okay. So, you know, it's $55, ma'am. Okay, you know what? $55 plastic chair prices. No, 55 plastic chair prices. Plastic chair prices. Let me take a look. How many plastic chairs? How many plastic chairs? Okay, we got Walmart here. We got a folding plastic chair here at Walmart. It's $12. $12 from one folding plastic chair. Okay? Hold on. Hold up now. You know I like my numbers. Okay, $12.94 for one plastic chair. $12.94 for one plastic chair times 50. That's $647. You guys can scrap up $647 and get some plastic chairs. So when those women walk in there, they have some place to sit. They're not sitting on the floor because they're not children. Sitting on the floor is for toddlers who are in children's church. You know, when you get older as a woman, your knees, your back, you know, nobody's trying to sit on the floor. And when I saw that picture, because my cousin showed me the picture, she's like, oh, well, you should come. I said, that image alone already tells me what I need to know about her. She's on a chair and she got grown women sitting on the floor. She got women in their 60s and 70s sitting on the floor. Who is she to think that she's supposed to be on a throne and other women come in and they're on the floor? I have a problem with that. And I'm the female narcissist, according to a lot of women online. No. What it is you don't like confidence on a woman. So when you hear my videos, you hear confidence. So you have to say, I'm a narcissist. That's the problem. I know a female narcissist when I see one, and she was that. It's $12.94. That's at Walmart. I'm sure there's a Dollar Tree somewhere in the country that you can order some plastic chairs for $6 each. So women who are coming into your women's group have to sit on the floor to hear you speak because you're Melania Trump. Even Melania Trump has some class, honey. You're not going to go to the White House and be sitting on no floor. That's disrespectful. So when I saw that, I'm like, honey, that's not a first lady, my dear. That's a witch. Okay. You know, how many more signs do I need? That was the first sign. The second time around, she was trying to attack me, right? And I have the type of spirit where when somebody is wicked, they're always going to want to attack me without reason because my light shines so bright that it pisses dark entities off. Okay? So yeah, a lot of first ladies are, not all, but a lot of them are mean girls, and they are narcissistic, and they do feel like they're above the women in the church, and they feel like they're superiors, and they use the women in the church as an opportunity to make themselves feel like they are above the rest. And that's not my vibe. Right? So I said I will not be going to her women's group, because a lot of women empowerment groups, it's the ringleader is like a sociopath. They just want to feel above. They're not really teaching you anything. On my classes, you're getting taught. Slide after this information. I'm not here to make you pay to hear me talk about myself. I may share little stories in regards to the slide that I'm showing you so you can put the puzzle pieces together, but you're not paying to hear about me. You're paying to learn. A lot of them, you're going into their spaces and all they're doing is talk about them and how wonderful their marriage is. And we know that the husband, ma'am, yeah, if I were you, I'd stay quiet about your husband. Okay? I'd stay very quiet about him if I were you. They're only inviting you in to feel like that, to feel like they're like above, you know? So, we, ma'am, if I were you, I would be very quiet about your husband. Please. Okay. Mm, okay. Okay. So when I saw that, I said, been in church all my life. I am now a minister, and the women in the church are the absolute worst because they never get called out for how they are and the way they are. That's why. Nobody says anything. So my cousin brought it up to me. I'm like, she's a mean girl. And I know she's a mean girl because she gives me dirty looks during service. Why are you a first lady giving a member dirty looks? And she would tell the videographers to not put the camera on my face, to not put it, like, anytime she would see them coming near me, she would call them over and go like this. She's a very insecure woman. I also think there's that rivalry going on where, I hate to go there, I love everybody, okay? If you're Latina, I love you, but I have to say this. She's Latina. And a lot of times, not all Latin women are like this, but sometimes when they're in the presence of a very beautiful Black woman, they get very, very, very angry. Very, 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 very angry. And then they want to attack. Because in their mind, if they're married to a Black guy, and her man is Black, if they're married to a Black guy, the Black guy boost their ego by trashing Black women. So in their mind, they think that they're like, because of what what Black men tell them, right? So then when they see a beautiful, well put together Black woman, they feel threatened, especially when their Black guy, who trashes Black women all the time, happens to be attracted to that Black woman. So now they start to get very violent. And, there was a time where we had a little bit of she was coming out of the bathroom, I was coming into the bathroom, and she's like, "You're not going to say hi to me?" Like, that's what she did. And in my head, I'm like, "Ma'am, sweetie, I'm delivered. The old me, you would be like on the floor right now. No woman talks to me like that. I have been delivered from rage. I don't think you understand who you're talking to. That's the problem. You're talking to somebody who's been delivered. I would never allow a woman to jump up at me like that. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Because now you're in my space and I have the right to get you out of it. I don't want to ragdoll you. That's the thing. But then I didn't say anything. She did that. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. But it just shows me this is a first lady. This is not a first lady. This is ah, Oh my God, this is not a first lady, okay? Because a first lady has a little bit more decorum. This looked like somebody that was picked up on the side of the road that was turned into a first lady. You ever meet those pastors that be like hanging out at the strip club on the weekends because they live a double life and they happen to fall in love with a dancer and they turn her into a first lady? That happens so often. So I'm like, the polish is not given. You're wearing the Louis Vuittons, but you're wearing, those things are created for a classy type of woman, and it's just you're not that. She's declassing the outfits because those are created for women of class. Imagine jumping up at somebody like in your Louis Vuittons. It's like, it's given. I was forced to be here. We just started messing around and I happened to be given a position that I am not ready for. And a lot of times this is why these first ladies act like this, because they're just given a position that they don't really understand. So yeah, she tried to jump at me. She tried to come at me. And I'm just like, okay, like another woman that cannot control herself when she's around me. It's my spirit that's irritating them. It's my spirit. I don't even know her. Like I didn't, when she did that, I kind of just looked at her because I didn't understand what would prompt her to address me in that way. You're not going to say hi to me. Why don't you say hi to me? I don't know you. I don't need to say hi to you. I don't need to say anything to you. You're the first lady. You should be saying hi to me. You should be introducing yourself to me. This is your ministry. Humble yourself. You wanted to be a first lady, right? You can't be a first lady, ma'am, if you're not willing to be humble. That's the problem. If that's not what you're willing to be, that's not a position for you. You should drop the title. You're supposed to be humbling yourself and coming to me and introducing yourself to me and telling me, hey, I've seen you around a lot. How do you like everything? Like, you're supposed to be doing that. It's not supposed to be the other way around. You're not a queen. Okay. You ain't nothing but a raccoon, ma'am. Okay. How do you keep your composure when you let it go? Well, you just say, you just apologize to yourself and God. And then you get back on track. You get back on. Get back on. The pastor's wife literally shoulder checked me. I was vocal about it and was told that I was sowing discord, weaponizing the Bible. Why would she be shoulder checking you? That's crazy. There's the aggression. They're just very inappropriate sometimes. And I can say that when that happened, I stayed very quiet when she did that, because at some point you realize it's just not worth it. It's a test. I don't know what she was upset about, but I do know that, honey, I was the least of her problems, because her husband had about 8 girlfriends in that church. I was not your problem. I wasn't your problem. I'm telling you, he had about 3 mistresses and 8 girlfriends. I wasn't your problem, ma'am. I wasn't. I really wasn't. But, I was the one that got, oh well, it's nothing new. I do my best to treat people on a case-by-case basis, but Puerto Rican women are my biggest haters. I can exist and their spidey senses will pick me out of a room and start something. Well, you just ignore them. You just ignore them. It's not their fault. You don't blame the Latin women. You blame the Black men that make them feel like they can do that. It's what they're being told that makes them feel like that. So I wouldn't blame her. It's the men that she's with that makes that triangulates Black women versus Latin women and triangulates them. That's the same thing with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Perfect example of this. Just a triangulation Nikki could never. Okay. Just like Michael Jackson, Nicki Minaj. I don't do well with the slander her. I know she has her problems. I do. Thoughts on Christian evangelists who seem to be triggered by your spirit? Just go somewhere else. Ladies and gentlemen, if you go into a place of worship and people are triggered, just go somewhere else. There are so many places of worship available. You don't have to remain there. You don't have to remain there, ladies and gentlemen. Just go somewhere else. If you're triggering somebody's spirit, go somewhere else then. Life is spiritual, so your spirit sometimes cannot be processed by many people. We'll talk about this in the spiritual warfare class next week. Sometimes it's your spirit that's rubbing people the wrong way. It's not you. It's not anything that you're doing. Your spirit is just making somebody feel annoyed. Mel, I know, but it's a recurring issue and pattern. Kadon, you are speaking to the poster child for that problem. I've always dealt with people just not liking me. Me walking into places, oh, I don't like her. Like, I've always dealt with that. So at some point, you can't let that make your life feel sour. The right people will be drawn to you. I've always dealt with people not liking me. I've always dealt with someone picking fights with me, stalking me. I've always dealt with that. And I always tell people, as long as you don't touch me, I don't care. Okay? I'm still going to enjoy myself. Okay, Nikki has her flowers, but she can't be compared to MJ. MJ, nobody can be compared to Michael Jackson. I wasn't trying to compare the two. Nobody can compare to him. It's because you're beautiful. Yeah, thank you. But I don't think that's only it. I've met other beautiful women who don't get it the way I get it. Like, people literally have tried to physically attack me. Like, I've been in places where women are trying to get so close to me, to shoulder bump me. Like, it's this obsession with trying to put their hands on me. Which is why I'm just going to call cops. Like, I'm not going to fight. I'm not. I'm going to call the cops. And I'm going to do that. How can we handle people wanting to humble you? Nobody can humble the great. If you're a great, they can't humble you. They think they are, but they can't. It's when you have the combo of beauty and aura. I've always dealt with that, y'all. Like, random people trying to come to my side of the room and shoulder bump me. It's just an obsession with trying to get my attention. They're trying to assert dominance. Exactly. I was just about to say that you can't run from. Yeah, you can't keep running. If somebody walks up to you as a woman and they're gonna jump on you, just start yanking. I've been telling you guys this since 2023. Just start yanking. I'm not telling yourself to fight, but if somebody jumps on you, you really don't have a choice. So the best thing to do is to yank. And then after you just start yanking, call the cops. Okay? That's all you can do. Same. Had a woman outside shoulder bump me. Yeah, it's very crazy. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I've had, or they move your stuff around. It's okay. Like, don't fall for a provoking spirit. Don't fall for provoking spirits. They're bullies. How to stand in my beauty when I'm terrified of jealousy and witchcraft. Radiant Star, you cannot be terrified of jealousy and witchcraft. If you're a beautiful woman, you need to show that. Okay? Because one day you're going to wake up and be 95 years old. You're going to have to take what that comes with. Okay? For me, it's biological mother with multi-personality disorder. She has like 2 or 3 she devils, 1 cousin, aunt, and one of my younger sister, few ex-female friends. I'm a Black woman that move in an upper scale neighborhood. Nice. Congratulations. Facts on facts on facts. Wish I came across you before I was married. Well, you're here now. What is the archetype for people like coworkers who yell at you? I don't think that's an archetype. I think they're just angry people. Yeah, she tried to attack me, the first lady. I don't know what it is about them. I think that the way first ladies act towards a lot of women, it's not about you. It's just their husbands or habitual cheaters. And when you're around, they feel like you're the threat and that he's going to want you. A lot of first ladies spend their entire lives chasing after their husband and watching their husband and making sure that their husband doesn't cheat. Like that is their entire career. That's why a lot of them don't work, because they're just watching him and obsessing over him and watching his every move and compete. Like it's such a low level reality to live in, right? Sexual competition, right? You don't even have to want him. She just has to perceive you as attractive, and that'll be enough. And in that case, you switch churches. If the first lady is causing problems, which a lot of them do, you just switch churches. It's a provoking spirit. Just switch churches. Because it's only going to get worse, and she's going, because in her mind is telling her that you and her husband are sleeping together. You know, her mind is telling her, because you got to understand, I hate to go there, a lot of them, they're when women are not, and this is no shade to housewives or anything like that, when women are not working and their only source of provision is a man, it's not even just about her husband being attracted to you. If he leaves her, she will not have anything. She sees him as her bread and butter. It goes beyond her actually loving him. Like I think that first ladies and women who are fully relying on their man are the most brutal with how they attack, because they're attacking from a place of, I need him here because if he leaves me, I'm going to a shelter. That's where they're attacking you from. They're in survival mode, right? So in my head, I'm like, this lady is trying to attack me. Ma'am, you're looking at a woman who in the making will own multiple businesses. Like, I'm a boss. Me and you are not the same type of woman at all. I could never wake up every day and make a man my job. That is not me. Like, we are two completely different categories of women. I won't have a job, I'll have multiple. I will never wake up and a man is the reason for my existence. That's your reality. He's your purpose. Your man is your purpose. We're two completely different types of women. Like, you got up in the morning and you're thinking about, who did he text last night? Where did he go last night? Let me try to make him the best breakfast so he doesn't want to leave here. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking, what's the next move? Like, we are two completely different types of women. So when women like that try to attack, I'm like, I'm not in survival mode. Like, I don't need him to eat. Right. So again, those type of women, a lot of times when they attack you, it's not even because it's all about the way you look and stuff. They're attacking you because if he leaves them, they're not going to have anywhere to go, anything to do. Have you ever seen those videos of women that were with men and like they didn't work and stuff like that? And then when the man leaves them, they don't know where they're going to go. The man cuts them off financially. The man's like, hey, I'm going to give you $500 for those two kids and I'm done with you. And he moves in with like the side chick or whatever. And now she's like cut off. She probably has like a bank account with $2,000. She doesn't have anything now. She doesn't have a car. He took the car back. Like, I would never, as a woman, allow myself to be that vulnerable with a man and to be in that type of position where if he leaves, I have nothing to my name. I would never allow myself to do that. I'm Caribbean. I was raised to work. Okay. The only time you do that is if you're like married to a multimillionaire and you know if he leaves you, there's going to be a massive pension. Like, I'm Caribbean. So in Caribbean culture, any woman who was a housewife to a man who was a millionaire, meaning they own supermarkets all across the island. So if anything doesn't work out between them, everything's going to get split in half and she's going to get millions of dollars to take care of her and the child. I just, again, I'm not throwing any shade, but I've never understood women who are housewives to men who don't have millions of dollars. I've always found that strange because I've always thought if he leaves, you're not going to get a massive settlement. If the house that you're living in is 400K, you're only going to get about 150K, and that can only last you about 2 years. With children, when you have to buy diapers and foods, and how are you going to get a car? How are you going to pay your rent? Your rent is like $2,000 a month. Like, I've never understood. I think that's why I always say that women have to work on their financial literacy, because if you do, you will realize, unless a woman is married to a multimillionaire, you're not going to get much after a divorce ends. Maybe $500 for 2 kids, and $500 will not even cover their health insurance per month. Because if you're not working, you're going to have to get private health insurance for you and your 2 kids. And if your man leaves you and you only get $600 a month, that's just health insurance money for your 2 kids, because you have to get private health insurance, like private Blue Cross Blue Shield, private all. So I've never understood that type of mentality. If he's a millionaire and a billionaire, or a billionaire, and you didn't sign a prenup or whatever, and you decide to go down that route, you're going to have a large settlement to make sure you and your children are okay. In a way, I also find it irresponsible, because now the kids are going to suffer. If the guy's a narcissist and he leaves to moves on with whatever other woman, and he didn't have a lot of like money, he's going to give the kids $400 a month, and that's it. It's all on you. So now the kids have to suffer. Like, I've never understood those type of decisions. I don't know, I've never understood it. I know some women do it because they want to be home with their children, but I've never understood why to do that if the guy is like making an average salary. Like, those kids will suffer if he leaves. I didn't say to only have kids with a millionaire, Maple. You're twisting my words. That is not what I said. That is not what I said. I said that if a woman decides that she's going to give up her autonomy, her years of working and experience and all of that, to stay at home with a man, always keep in the back of your mind that, God forbid, if he leaves, your pension as a result of that divorce is not going to sustain you in raising those children as he leaves and builds his own life. I did not say to only have kids with millionaires. When women don't like what they're hearing, they switch your words and they try to make what you're saying sound negative. That is not what I said. That is not what I said. The thing about taxes, I was having this conversation with another young lady that booked a call with me. We were talking about corporate stuff. And I literally told her, I said, what salary are you looking for? She's like, okay, I want 75K. I'm like, okay, but whatever salary you're looking for, we have to subtract 30% of it. And she's like, why? What do you mean? I said, because 30% goes into taxes. So if somebody wants to make 65K a year, you're actually going to make 45 after taxes. I always say women have to get better at numbers. So when a man is giving you a bad deal, you can tell that's a bad deal, right? So if you want to make 65K, you got to take a 30% out for taxes. It's okay, Maple. Maybe I understood you. I apologize, and I do accept your apology. So you have to learn the numbers. So when you're with a guy, if he's making like 65K a year, he's only making 45. So you're a stay-at-home mom to 3 kids with a guy who's only making 45K a year. He's pulling in about $1,800 every 2 weeks. The rent is already like $2,200. Like, where it just, I don't know, financially, it doesn't make sense to me. Financially, it doesn't make sense. If the guy's taking care of you, great. Your mom must be protective of you. It's not even just that. Like, I'm Caribbean, and my father always taught me, like, you got to be really, like, you don't ever want to put yourself in a place as a woman where you're financially vulnerable. Because that's when people start taking advantage of you, and you got to start selling yourself, because that's the only choice that's left. You got to take out the 30%. So I told her, if you're making 65K, you're actually making 45K. So instead of saying you want to make 65K, you got to reach for 85. Because when you reach for 85 after taxes, you'll be making 65. And she's like, whoa, Mel, I didn't even think about the 30%. I'm like, women have to get better at numbers so you can make better decisions. So that when you're choosing, like, get very good at numbers. I always tell women, if you're with a guy and he's asking you for sex, I'm not saying women are only worth sex, but he's asking you, like, that's the end all be all for him. So what is he willing to do for you or give you to equate to that? Because for a man, men, they put the sex up here. That's why a lot of times once they get that from you, they leave. That's like the highest bid for them. They perform to get that. So don't just give him that and then you're left with what? A box of chocolates? You done rolled around on a mattress for some roses? Oh no, that's no, that's disrespectful. Like that's absolutely crazy. You got ghosted and got left rolled on the mattress for some a Hershey bar and a rose, not even a bouquet. He got you the single one. Oh no, babe, no, you messed up. Um, Try to get yourself together, but you done messed up big time, babe. Don't even tell anybody that story to not embarrass yourself. Please don't tell anybody that. Because don't tell any new guy you date that you did that, because it's very embarrassing. And he's gonna think, why do I have to take her out? I'm gonna use her for free. Don't do it, ma'am. Please respect yourself. Sex is it's all the way up there. If a man is even requesting that from you, what did he do to deserve that? That's the biggest thing ever. Having sex for some Hershey bar, like at least a ring, at least marriage. Where is it at? Where is it at? Ladies, you're rolling around in the mattress and you're getting up, and it's not even a good mattress. It's a cheap mattress too, which makes it worse. He doesn't even have sheets on the box cover underneath. It's real bad, ma'am. It's real bad, ma'am. And then you don't hear from him again. And you're like, oh, oh my God, I feel so bad. What did I? And you look over and all you see is the roses he got you. And they're all falling down because the roses are like expired. It's like, if he won't wait for sex, he's not worth it. That's right, Gigi. That's right. He will wait. If he wants that, well, what did you do to deserve that? Like okay, listen, I can't even think about that because I have so many things here that I need to handle. Right? And a real man is going to understand what that means. How is he making your life different? How is he courting you? What about the courting phases? What has he brought to you as an offering? How has he made your life easier, better? Rolling around in the mattress for a box of chocolates, that's crazy work, ma'am. If you want to talk to me about it, you could book a call, but please don't tell nobody else. That's going to be lowering yourself. That's degrading yourself in front of people when you tell them that. Don't tell any woman or man that you did that. Keep it a secret, keep it to yourself, and try to heal from it, because that's not happening. Okay? Ladies, back in Bible times, do you know how much men had to do to get access to a woman sexually? How many rings, how many gifts, how many gifts to the family? Like, y'all are just, come on. Tell him to keep the Taco Bell, ma'am. That's a no-go for you. That's crazy. Have you ever seen those African weddings where the guys like have to keep y'all need to go around. Is online dating a no-go? It's not a no-go, but don't text them off your real number. Don't go to their house and expect them to try to sleep with you after 3 dates. State your intentions very early on, and sex is off the table. It's completely off the table. It's off the table. It should not even be mentioned. It should not even be mentioned to you. There's a lot to be done to even hint at that. Even if a man hints at it, you should feel disrespected, because it's going to take out of you, and you're going to still feel. Don't do it. That's all I can say. Don't even think about it. Act like it doesn't exist in this reality. Act like it don't exist. And then the minute a lot has been done, you're like, oh wow, that exists. But act like it doesn't even exist. The minute he brings it up, you're like, sex? What's that? What is that? What does that mean? I never heard that word before. What does that mean? Sex? I never heard of that. What does that mean? My eyes are blinded to that until I can see what I want, get what I want, get that ring or something. I don't know what that is. The freak said, oh, you don't want sex. It's not about wanting and not wanting, the freak. It's not about wanting and not wanting. I'm a woman. I'm an adult woman. Adult women who are serious about their life don't just have sex because they want it. No, you're not a child. You're not a teenager anymore. Everything in your life has to make sense. Everything. You're not going to say, oh, well, I want intercourse. You just go grab some random person or text some random man, invite him to your house. Ladies, if you're doing that, shame on you. That's not for adult women. That's for teenagers. That's for college students. That's not for grown women. Get serious about your life. Women who are serious about their life don't think about stuff like that. Unless he's your husband. If he's not your husband, why are you even thinking about that? Why are you even allowing a man to bring that up to you in conversation after one date? That's insanity. Sex for shrimp scampi? No, absolutely not. You're not ready for that. Okay. Any woman that just has intercourse just because she wants to, something wrong with her, she needs to go to the doctor and find out what's wrong with her. Ma'am, you are grown. You have so many things in your life that you have to take care of. You're just going to do it with some random guy after one day. Oh, because I really wanted it. Like, I can't be friends with women like that because their priorities, they don't have their priorities straight. Their priorities are not together. Oh, what'd you do? Oh, girl, I went to his house last night. Oh, really? What happened? Oh, yeah, he put it on me last night. And it's like she just has sex for fun. Like, for her, she doesn't see that this is not your husband. He's not your fiance. He's not helping you out in life in a major way. Like, she just has sex for fun. And it's like, okay, so she's delayed mentally, because if she wasn't, she would know that for adult women, you don't do that. That's not on your mind. In order for that to be on your mind, certain things have to be checked off the list. What if we already did it? Oh, if you already did it, Yazzie, ask God to cleanse you, my dear, and don't do it again. Okay, don't do it again. Don't do it again. Okay? Every time you get that feeling, I understand as a woman you're hormonal. Every time you get that feeling, don't think about it. Just don't think about it. Go take a shower. Okay? Go clean or something. Just don't think about it. Now you feel that feeling, you're hormonal, I get it. But when you feel that feeling, just be like, oh gosh, I have too much to do to even be thinking about this. There's not the right suitor in front of me to even think about this. That's stuff you think about when everything is balanced out perfectly. Okay. So, I had to stop, in the past, I had to stop hanging out with some certain women because it's like, oh God, she just has sex because she wants to. Like, she just wants it and just gets up one day and calls some random guy. Oh no, this girl can't be my friend. She's gonna think I'm bougie. She's gonna think I think I'm better than her, because that's for children. That's for teenagers. That's for women who are in college. That's not for grown women who are about their business. Calling me with that nonsense. That's foolishness. Squealing on the phone for that. It's like, ma'am, you're squealing on the phone for that and you still don't have a job. That's somebody whose priorities is not together in the way it should be. I'm not saying that I'm denying that it's biologically imperative to freak. That's not what I said. I said 2 minutes ago that women have feelings. The problem is men get very intimidated when a woman views intercourse in that way, because you want women to be so obsessed with it so they can drop their panties for you after you buy them a Caesar salad. So it's offensive to you to hear a woman say, yeah, sex is a part of life. It's a part of biology. But when you're an adult woman, you're not walking around, sleeping around with random men that take you out on dates. That's because that shows a lack of prioritization for yourself as a woman. A woman always loses more when she lays down with a man. Notice how the more men you sleep with as a woman, you're considered damaged. And the more women a man sleeps with, he's considered that guy. So that means that men even view themselves as parasites and they don't even realize it. The minute a woman has a high body count, you don't want her. Why? Because she slept with too many guys, she's considered unclean. So which one do you want? And then you're hearing a woman telling a woman to not do that, and you're working against it. That's why I say men are just as delusional as women. Never forget that, ladies. The more of them you sleep with, you're considered low value. And the more of you they sleep with, they're considered that guy. So they're telling on themselves right there. The more men have ran through a woman, men find her not qualified. She's dirty. They call her dirty, right? Why is she dirty? Because she's attached herself to many men. So that means you're calling yourself dirty because she slept with your kind. So men try to play all these mind games on a woman. And when they hear a woman talking with sexual discipline, it's offensive to them because they know that the cookie is not even, it's just don't even think about it because you're not going to get it. Women who respect themselves know that majority of men, you should not sleep with them. And that's just what it is. Men get cookie points off of sleeping with a lot of women. Women get considered damaged goods the more of them you sleep with, because they know that they're going to take your energy from you. They know they're going to damage you emotionally and spiritually after you do that with them, if it's not the right man. Majority of men should not even be talking to you. That's right, Cecilia. So I'm not saying it's not biologically normal. I'm saying as an adult woman, you don't wake up every day, who am I going to have sex with? I need to find a guy to have sex with. That's not your age group when you're an adult woman. You don't think like that. You're not thinking like that. I didn't say the denial is extreme. You need to learn how I joke. Maybe you haven't been here. It was a joke. I like to joke and have fun when I come on here. Don't take everything that I say for certain with certain things. Obviously, women know what sex means. It's a joke. If you cannot take my jokes, please get out of here, because I don't want you to mess up the vibe. Okay? Women should not be getting up, who am I going to have sex with? You're not a teenager. You are an adult woman with responsibilities. You got your health. As a woman, you got your health to take care of. You don't want no diseases, correct? How many women have developed cervical cancer because a man gave them HPV and they had no idea? And years later, they go back to the doctor. Now they have cervical cancer and they have to get their uterus removed. As a woman, sex is not a joke for you. Do not allow men to make it seem like sex is no big deal. It is a big deal for you. It is a big deal for you. Your life and your health is on the line. Your heart is on the line. It is a huge deal for you as a woman to let a man access you in that manner. A Caesar salad does not make the cut for that. A walk in the park and a cup of coffee does not make the cut for that. I'm not going to even go there before they say, I thought she's a Christian. She sounds like a gold digger. I'm not going to go there. I'm just not going to go there. Because that's what they're going to say. Okay? That's what they're going to say about me. Oh, she's a gold digger. No. Even if you read the Bible, women were not supposed to just be doing that with some random person. No. No. Value yourself. I'm always going to teach women to value themselves. Okay? A Caesar salad, a man that took you out for a cup of coffee or a plate of dinner asking you for sex, he is disrespecting you on the highest level. As a woman, you should feel like, what? You should feel, I know he didn't. I know he didn't. That's how an adult woman responds. Because when you have sex as a woman, you are letting that man into your body spiritually. You're going to give your vessel to that man. He's entering your body, your soul. And you want me to sit up here and tell women, oh, that's cool. Just do it as much as you want, girl. Those women who are still immature. Oh, yeah, girl, go ahead and do it. Girl, you better have fun. No, don't. Women like that, stay away from them. That is a no-go. Okay? Okay. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, you guys. It's so strange. Like, I literally try to come on here and I try to encourage women to make better decisions for themselves. So I'm sorry. Okay, so let me say this instead. Ladies, sleep around with everybody. Every guy that wants to sleep with you, go ahead and do it. He's worth it. Is that better? Every time you're feeling that feeling, just go grab some random man. Is that better? Like, what do you guys want me to do? Okay, so now how long dating goes by and the man doesn't make a pass? Should you feel disrespected? No, you should feel happy. Thank God he's not asking me for that. That should make you feel very happy. That means he's paying patient. The right man will be patient. Okay? After we had sex, he told me he lived with his baby mama. Oh, not the baby mama, girl. Not the baby mama. Not the baby mama. And then he was like, we're not together. So he had sex with you and he's living with his baby mama and he told you they're not together. And then after that, he told me she's first to be taken care of because she's the mother. Okay, Yazzie, they're living together. So they are together. Ladies, I want you ladies to hear me loud and clear. This is not the time to put your life in harm's way. If a woman has a man in the picture, if a man has a woman in the picture, block him now. You don't know who his baby mama is. She could be crazy. She could find you. It's not worth your life. If they're living together, it's because they are together. Why are you having sex with somebody like that? He's not even your man. He's another woman's man. That's crazy. Yeah, it's maturity. It's maturity. It's maturity. He expected you to sleep with him after a Caesar salad and some wings. Ja, let me tell you, Ja, I know you're a man. I know you're new here. I'm telling you right now, I am not going to allow any man to come onto this live and tell the young women in this live that they have to put out for you right away. You want a woman to put out for you, you will buy her a ring. You will go to the marriage shop and you will purchase her the diamond ring and you will make her your woman. You don't get to collect multiple women at a time. That's the message for you, sir. You will make her yours. And even after you make her yours, you will conduct yourself properly. You will not triangulate her with other women. If that's what you want to do, you're they definitely still screwing. Of course he's screwing her. They're living together. They have a child. Oh, Josh said the baby mama situation. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm so sorry for yelling at you. I had no idea. I apologize. I didn't know, Ja. I thought you were one of the guys coming in here to try and tell these ladies to put out for a Caesar salad. I was getting ready to stop you because I love the guys, but I got to have my ladies' backs. So I had to make sure that you're not going to come and change the message. I'm so sorry, Ja. I apologize. You got an earful. I'm just really passionate, Ja. I really apologize. I do. I'm humble. I can apologize when I'm wrong. Okay. When am I going to see you in the air? Come on, me and God both agrees. You are so fly. I don't know what that means, but that definitely sounds like a compliment. So I apologize. I accept it. The sex positivity movement was a scam. Women have a lot to lose when being intimate with men. Men lose nothing. Not even in the Caesar salad. The Caesar salad was probably just One of the cheapest Caesar salads ever. Just a couple chunks of the it wasn't even romaine, I bet you. I bet you it was iceberg. I bet you it was the iceberg. It wasn't even the real romaine. He got you the iceberg salad. And the chicken wasn't even real. It was some frozen chicken thrown on that platter. Please. Okay, I bet you it wasn't even the real cut romaine. It was that iceberg nonsense, and they threw some chicken on it, frozen chicken that tastes like a tires, rubber chicken tasting like tires. Ladies, respect yourself. Yes, Lexi, Tyson chicken at that tastes like tires, rubbery and all. Okay, even the cheese wasn't real. It was the Parmesan cheese that you get, in the little containers in the spice cabinet. It wasn't even the real shaved Parmesan. Ladies, up your standards, please. Up your standards. Up your standards. Your standards for men, your standards for dates, ladies. Up your standards for life. Okay. 3 croutons. That's right. Not even 3 croutons. The freak 1 crouton and a half. They didn't have enough croutons, so they had to smash it like this and sprinkle it on top of the salad. And then he wants sex? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's just crazy. It's just never going to happen. This guy ordered McDonald's for me. Okay, Vivi, I don't even think I'm going to read the rest of that. I really don't. Because then I'm going to get to shouting. I don't think I'm going to read it, Vivi. I hope that by the time I get to the end of your sentence, I'm not disappointed. This guy ordered McDonald's for me and my friends. Okay, like 3 times. Okay, and expected sex. Ladies, who are you dating? McDonald's? Seriously? He ordered McDonald's for you and your friends 3 times and wanted sex from you for McDonald's. Ladies, you hear that? You hear it? I can't make it up. It's right here in the chat. Did you hear that? McDonald's. That's literally made out of cardboard. Crazy. What about a man who wants 2 wives? That's just, it's not going to work. Then after you sleep with him, he will tell everyone how he slept with you. My child's father said he would still have access to sex even though we're divorced. A Mormon? Who? I'm not a Mormon. Okay. Men are carnal, women are spiritual. We are not equal. There you go. You got that right. I just cannot believe that men are asking women sex after McDonald's. It's just, and women actually accept it. Like, women actually think that that's cute to entertain that type of behavior. And I don't know why they want the sex like just so fast. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. It's only irritating. Like, I don't understand. Like, ladies, it's just, you have to think about how you're going to feel after you have the sex. Are you going to be able to sleep properly? He's not calling. Text messages are getting shorter. It's like, why do you want to put yourself through that mental turmoil? Just don't do it. If he wants to have sex with you, he will go to the courthouse. He will go and get you a ring and one you really like at that. And if he doesn't go that route, he will give you everything that your heart desires. Okay? If that's not what he's trying to do, tell him that you are not available for any form of shenanigans or games. You let them know early on. I want to be respected and I want to be honored. There is no sex. Okay? You start rolling around on the mattress with that man, I'm telling you. After you get off that mattress, you're going to be like, what on earth did I just do? I can't believe I rolled around on a mattress with this man. I can't believe I did that. This is just insanity. And then you're going to start beating yourself up mentally. You're going to start beating yourself up mentally. Why do that? Miss Wilson, here's the thing. She said, Mel, are you a follower of Jesus? Jesus is the only way to the Father. I am saved. Thank you, Miss Wilson. I'm saved. Thank you. I am saved. Thank you. Anybody who wants to have sex right away is like a cluster B. Something's not normal. It's not normal to want to sleep with people too fast. That's not normal. Something, I don't care how much men try to normalize it. It's not normal to want to sleep with random people. Like, that's just something is not right. Okay? After you get me some food, here's a blow-up doll. A blow-up doll? Well, give him one of those for Christmas so he can leave you alone. Because he's not going to get it from you until certain requirements are met. Because you respect and honor yourself as a woman. Right? And if you want to share something like that, you want to make sure it's right. Right? So you want to be protecting yourself and honoring yourself. Okay? So I once had a guy tell me at church, mind you, and just tell me I'm using him. I stopped him right there. He told you were using him? 2 rides and 2 coffees. Okay. 2 rides and 2 coffees he offered. So wait. So he offered you 2 rides and 2 coffees, and he wanted to have sex with you after 2 coffees and 2 rides. Is that what he meant by saying you're using him? For 2 rides and 2 coffees? Is that what he told you? Ladies, this is why I always say to not take anything from men, because a lot of times men are only giving you things because they want something out of you. That's why you always say, no, thank you. It's okay. I appreciate it. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. You know, I always say that when women start to see things from a different perspective, a spiritual perspective, and women start to see just how much you lose from even sleeping with the wrong person, they wouldn't do it anymore. They wouldn't do it. They would know to keep it off limits until it's the right person for you. And don't let anybody pressure you. I don't care if people, I remember when I was younger, and I always thought like this because my grandma always told me, Mel, focus on your pocketbook, right? And my grandma would always tell me, it has to be the right man. If not, he will like ruin your life. So please be, mindful. My grandma never really like talked about sex like that because she's older and I'm like her granddaughter and that's a little weird. But she was never like my grandma always told me women who are serious about their lives are not, just sleeping with men just to sleep with them. That's not what they're doing, because it's just not shows you don't have any priorities. But I remembering just how the way I want to know Gab's whole story. Okay, wait, hold on. You're talking about the 2 rides and the coffee? The 2 coffees? You can't stop beating yourself up mentally. Well, you're gonna have to, Noor. What happened, Noor? Why do you keep beating yourself up? Why? Yesterday I had demons strangle me in my dreams. Oh, you gotta get some prayer. You gotta get some prayer on you. He was sexually frustrated. I am smart than that. He claimed to be the Christian, and I was starting my journey. I was much more composed. I simply told him I got it into. Okay, so when he said he was using you after 2 rides and 2 coffees, you have to ask him, well, what was I using you for? The 2 rides, you grab your purse, you say, how much was that? The mileage was about 2 miles. Okay, $10, $20, and then 2 coffees, $5, $5, $10, $10, $20, $25, 30. Here's $30. I don't use anybody. And hand him $30. That's it. Past decisions of letting men pressure me when I knew better. Yeah, but you were younger probably. You didn't know any better. No man can pressure you about anything once you know better. I don't want to share that moment with you. I'm not ready. There are still certain things that need to be in alignment for me. And if they say, oh, well, I don't like, okay, well, then go get away from me then, because I'm not going to change my mind. The right one is not going to put pressure on you. He will wait until you are ready. The right one, okay? If he's the right one, he's not even going to bring it up. He's going to wait for you, okay? I can't believe y'all, we are really trying to figure out this coffee thing. Imagine a guy buys you 2 coffees and he says you're using him. What? Why do I attract cheap men who start great and later act cheap? Okay, give us an example of what did they do that was giving cheap and how did they act at first? I haven't been in a relationship or dated anyone since I was 27. I'm 41 now. I feel awkward now. Oh, you don't have to feel awkward. You just got to get out there. You can still date. Date doesn't mean you're sleeping with them. You just got to get your groove back. You just got to get yourself out there again. Get comfortable. 41, you're still young. Make sure you're looking nice. Your hair's right. Your makeup's nice. You're working out. You're keeping your body together, and go out there and see what's out there. Don't sleep with them, but go out there and see what's out there. That, and when it was his time to show up for me, because he knew I was sick, he went to my door, said hi, and then said he's going to a party. And I told him, so what? What you gotta do. He was acting fidgety the whole time and brought up sex. No. When we weren't really speaking of that, yeah, he wanted to have sex. He wanted to have sex. He said, ever just think about sex all the time? I would have said, no, I have so many responsibilities. No. Even if you do. I would say, I don't. Sometimes I forget it even exists. That would really turn him off, right? Wow. Yeah, he's just trying to, there was a time years ago I was talking to this guy and he's like, oh yeah, I have very high testosterone. And I'm like, I don't really know what that has to do with me, but yeah, I don't care about your testosterone issues. That's not for me. You're not my husband. I'm not required to sexually please you whenever whenever you want. The women are, I mean, even the iceberg lettuce was better than the 2 coffees. I started talking great. They started talking great. Okay, taking soft, buying gifts. Nice. And with time, I got uncomfortable vibes from all men I dated. I declined the relationship. They abused me. How? I didn't give it up. I didn't even want to. He didn't show his intention. It all started with want to go to my church. you know, I tell men, okay, oh my God. So, okay, a lot of women sometimes are asked, well, when's the right time? If you're a believer and you're truly on that path, you got to be married. You know that. But if that's not you, it's so tricky. That's the thing. It's so tricky because you can wait 90 days and the guy still ghosts you after. You never know. It can still ghost you. You know, so it's very scary. It's a very scary thing. That's why women feel better when they just don't do it, because you never know what's going to happen. If he's gonna ghost you, if he's gonna not call you the next morning. You're checking your phone. Did he call me? Did he text me? We did the deed last night. Where you at? And he's not calling. They do call, but then the calls start to get shorter and short. Like, it's a very, very scary situation. It's very scary situation. So I always tell women, think long and hard before you sleep with him. Because once you sleep with him, he can just ghost you. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but he can just ghost you. Okay? He can just ghost you or block you on everything. There's this lady that was sharing her story time. She slept with a guy and he blocked her on everything after they slept. Like, he just like blocked her on Instagram, Facebook, everything. Like, she literally had to go to the hospital after that happened to her. She literally had to go to the hospital. And I'm not laughing at that. You guys know I laugh at everything. I'm just laughing because people don't understand the emotional turmoil that happens to you after something like that happens. Like, you feel like you got to go to the hospital and have them give you something to calm you down. So I always say, don't even put yourself in that situation. What about a boyfriend you've dated long term? Is it okay then? Deborah, it's really up to you. It's really up to you. It's really up to you. I can't tell you exactly what to do. Men will ridicule promiscuous women, cry about how there are no real modest women, and then throw a tantrum when they meet one and she doesn't put out. Girl, I don't even consume a damn drink from McDonald's. I was married to this guy and later I got to know he was bi. Oh my God. And he used to tell my bedroom stories to his gay friend. What type of stories? I'm married, but I sometimes wonder how women cope with when ovulating. Yeah, those ovulation periods those are pretty brutal. Those are pretty brutal. Not gonna lie. I gotta be honest. You know, those ovulation periods, you just gotta go pray and say, God, please take it away. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Men have to learn how to wield their sword. Yeah. They always switch up after the wrestling match. I hate the word boyfriend. That's not your husband. Exactly. Exactly. Just imagine the rap song people could make of sending one to the hospital for not calling back. I think that should be a crime. I saw that online and I agree. There's a woman that said that should be a crime, because when you sleep with a woman and you're acting like you like her and you sleep with her and you just straight up ghost her, what you did there is that was coercion, because she gave her body to you under the pretenses that you liked her, and she gave her body to you under the pretenses that you wanted to be with her, because that's how you presented yourself. So you lied. It's like buying stuff with Monopoly money. That's what you did. So now she wakes up and you're not calling, you're not texting her, you're going to jail. Yes. Let me tell you, if there was a law that said if you sleep with a woman and block her and do all that stuff, you're going to jail, men would not do that anymore. They do it because there's no consequences. If I can't look up the first lady and see her as a good role model for women, I can't attend that church. That's really good, Miss Wilson. I agree. Because you got to understand, like, when you share your body with a person, that is spiritual, right? And when they present themselves as they like you, and they get it and they disappear, they misled you. So it's coercion. It's like the worst thing you could ever do to somebody. And women don't know how to heal from that. And that thorn stays there for a long time. It happens to men too. I have heard that too. Now my ex who was bi got married to another woman, and she too will know he's gay soon. He fooled me. He fooled the second woman also. Oh God, that sounds very scary. They would do it and pay the fine. I'm like an Arabic horse, super delicate and need loads of care and upkeep and high maintenance. I am kept in a holy union, and I won't tell you how much is being spent a year for me to be comfortable. It's just, I tell women all the time, if you're going to do that with a guy, you have to prepare yourself for what's going to come next. If you can't do that with the mentality of, if I don't hear from him again, I'll be fine. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, it is misleading and coercion, Della. I'm going to tell you why. You're saying it's not misleading or coercion because they wanted it. They wanted it based on the man you presented yourself to be. But that's not even who you really are. You know? If you do it, never feel pressured to, like when men start to say, oh, well, it's been 3 months, or oh, it's been 3 weeks, or it's been 3 days, or whatever. Say, I'm not ready. Okay? I'm not ready. I'm not. I'm not prepared for that. I already told you I'm not ready for that. Okay? I'm not ready. That's all you have to say is, I'm not ready. And then they may take a deep breath and go, and wait a couple weeks again. And when they bring it up again, keep saying it will happen, but just not yet, because I'm still not ready. My heart's not ready. Okay? You're not ready to do the deed, good vibes. You're not ready to do the deed. When men start to put the pressure on you of give me the sex, you say, I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Okay? Or if you're waiting for marriage, you say, we need to be married. That's my boundary. And if the guy says, oh, well, you already did it before, you already over, say, it's completely fine, but I'm just telling you what my boundary is. It's only not misleading if both parties agree to the service outside of an actual romantic interest. My church is the funniest. 80% come only to see what clothes other is wearing. Yeah, a lot of churches are like that. It's like a fashion show in there. Men don't know what they want. The opposite happened to a former friend of mine. Just wanted sex from the guy, and that was it. Later, he came around begging for a relationship. It's because of the conquest, right? So when they have an idea that I want to conquer her for sex, right? And you're willing to just give it to them. Now the conquest is, okay, well, she don't want a relationship. Let me try to see if I can get her into a relationship. It's all about conquest. So you are right about that. It's pretty crazy stuff. Like it's wild. It's wild. And I always tell women to just be careful with yourself. You don't want to pick up on any spiritual transfers from sex, depression, anxiety, and stuff from the guy you're sleeping with or the girl you're sleeping with as a man, whatever woman you're sleeping. So you just have to be very careful. And, just don't let anybody convince you that you have to do it or pressure you or get mad at you or start slamming doors or forcing you to come back to his apartment. Like, he didn't do anything to want that part of you. And a lot of times I hate to go there. You have to tell the guys, are you looking to date or are you looking to have sex? And they'll say, oh, I'm looking to date. I'm like, that's not true. Some men are not dating. You're taking women out on to eat with the goal of sex in mind. That's not dating. That's not dating. Dating is getting to know somebody. You're not doing that. You're trying to get sex after a 3-time hangout, which means you have a time clock in your head. We went out first time. We went out the second time. The third time, I'm bringing her to my house. That's not dating. That's not dating. Dating is getting to know somebody over time. You're not doing that. You're not dating. You want sex. There's a massive difference. You know, you might as well just bring her, ask her to come to your apartment and show women what you really want instead of all the theatrics, you know? So I always tell women, is the guy dating or if he just wants sex? Because if he's dating you, he's getting to know you. There's no pressure. You guys will go out multiple times. There's no pressure. But if he just wants sex, after the third dinner or the second dinner, you got to go back to his house. That's what he wants. So that's not dating. Dating is getting to know somebody after a period of time. You're not doing that. It's hard to believe a man will be celibate when they respect your decision to be celibate. I experienced a situation where they were hooking up with someone else. It happens. It's it's like that's why you got to and they're not always going to necessarily tell you straightforward, but you can tell because after the second or third hangout, when you feel like the pressure, like there's this like elephant in the room, or you're feeling this pressure where it's like he's trying to save face, but he's trying to drag you over to his apartment, that tells you he's not dating. He wants sex. There's a big difference. He gets jealous of my achievements. Oh yeah, get rid of him. I wouldn't even deal with a guy who's jealous of you. That's going to become unhealthy. I wonder, do anyone do the friend test for dating, like being friend for X amount of time of years and it's platonic? I think that's a great idea to be friends first. This person said, third time, I'm bringing her straight back to the crib. Okay, Mr. Belcher. If that's your standard, after 3 dates, you're bringing her back to the crib, that's your standard. But you're going to meet certain women who are not going to do that, and you'll move on and she'll move on. A lot of them do just want sex. It's true. I'm not going to serve you guys a fantasy. They want sex. It's true. It's true. Do some of them want sex and a relationship with you? Sure. But it's a lot of them, they don't really want, when I was a little girl, my dad warned me. My dad said, Mel, majority of them just want sex, like a striking 95% just want sex. You always have to keep that in the back of your mind that that's all that they want. You're going to have to set some very high standard to make sure that you don't get used and tossed, because majority of them, that's all they want. They just want sex. They don't want nothing else. Okay, it's true. I know. And men who are honest will tell you that too. Men who are honest will also tell you that they just want sex. That men just want sex. It's true, ladies. You have to be, not going to your crib. It's very like and sometimes, people say that the man doesn't know if he wants to be with a woman until he has sex with her. Men are different than women. Men are different than women. Um, I just think that you don't ever want to put yourself in a position as a woman where you're in bed for days because this guy completely led you on and now you can't get out of bed, and it's like disrupting your life because you thought he really liked you. Like that lady that went on that trip with her boyfriend, I think they went to like Bali or something like that, and she just woke up one day on the trip and he was gone. Like he left her in Bali, like he was gone. She never heard from him after the trip. She just woke up one day and he just left. He abandoned her while they were in Bali, I think. And she was heartbroken. Like she literally had to go to therapy and everything because they were on this trip. He was buying her flowers, rose petals on the bed, pictures. They went to the beach, and she woke up one day and he was gone. Like he packed his bags. He just left. She never heard from him again. Obviously she left the trip early because he was gone. She went back home. He never texted her. He never called her. He abandoned her on their Bali trip. Imagine how much therapy and emotional healing she's going to need after that. Like he was getting her flowers. I'm probably gonna do a video on it because that is what people do to break your spirit. Like he was a demonic agent for sure because he wanted to break her. So she woke up and he was gone. He just left. And they're in the middle of nowhere. He just left, y'all. He left her in a foreign country. She didn't know where she was. She didn't even speak the language there. Like he just left. And when she got back home, she's like, how am I going to heal from this? Wow. Peace Guy Mia said it's debilitating. It took me 2 years to recover. I bet. I bet. I bet. I bet. And that's a spiritual attack too. When somebody does that to you, humiliates you in that manner, they want to break your spirit so you just lose your mind. No, why not just tell the person, hey, and what I'm saying is don't do flowers and rose petals and all that stuff if you know you don't like this woman. Don't do that. Show her that you don't really want to be with her, and then tell her I'm leaving, but don't lead her. Like, he wanted to hurt her feelings. That's why he did that. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, it's almost 3 o'clock. I'm getting off. I need to eat something. I really need to eat something. I'm really hungry. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I'll be on live tomorrow again. Announcements. I will be giving my opinion on a lot of stuff with Perez. Oh God, Ambient, please don't start that. He said, no disrespect. If a man goes to a woman after the first time they have sex, it's due to the woman being loose down there and or vaginal odor. I don't know, the whole like loose thing. I don't really know how I feel about that. I think that when men say stuff, I'm not a man, so I don't know what it feels like to sleep with a woman. But that whole loose thing, like I think vaginas are just vaginas. Like yeah, if a woman has like a baby and like maybe she tears a lot, that's different. But it's like when men say, oh, well, that vagina was good and this one wasn't. I just feel like that's like a way to just bring the woman down. The vaginal odor part, that is probably, some people do have bad hygiene. So that it can be true. But the other one, I don't know. I'm not a man. I don't know what it feels like on their end. So I don't want to discredit what you're saying because I have heard some men say that before. But I think that if you really like someone, you'll figure it out. You're not gonna leave them for that. They can do the whole rejuvenation surgery or whatever if you really like them. I think that the men don't like the women enough. Oh, Trinity said her last relationship was her last relationship. She won't be giving her power away ever again. I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard, you guys. That's a lie. My male friend said that loose tight is a myth. I always felt like that was a myth. I always felt like that was a way to bring women down and make them feel less than. To say, oh, you're too loose, or I feel like you're too loose down there. Oh, it wasn't good. When men will like sit with other men and say, oh, it wasn't good. Like I feel like that's a way to make women feel like bad about themselves when it comes back to them. Now the body odor thing, the BO, okay, but I feel like when men say that, I'm like, again, I'm not a man. I don't sleep with women. I don't know what that sensation feels like for men. But I'm just saying that when they say that, I just feel like when you look at things from a biological standpoint, vajayjay is a vajayjay. Like it's, some women it may be slightly bigger or smaller or whatever, but it's what it is. So when they say, oh, well, that wasn't good or didn't feel, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like maybe the chemistry wasn't there and that's what you're feeling. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've always been perplexed about that. Don't give your power away, Trinity. Don't do it. Do not give your power away ever again. Wait for the right one. You see, this person said, Alicia said, if you truly genuinely love the woman, the walls and all shouldn't matter. It shouldn't. That's so, if you love the person, like you don't even have to be sleeping with them. Just kissing them feels amazing. Like if two people like each other, they can sit there on a couch and kiss for like 2 hours straight. Mm-hmm. Yes. The minute your lips touch, it's just like whoa. If two people genuinely like each other, they can sit there and kiss for like 45 minutes straight and not even have to do anything else. I think kisses are so beautiful and so intimate. So I agree with Alicia. They just don't like the person and they're trying to like grab onto something because they don't like the person. Marianne said it's a misogynistic myth. I used to think that way too. I used to think it was a myth when they would say that because I didn't understand that. I always feel like it was a way to degrade there are some very small and potently pinky sized men, and I feel like they're revealing themselves when they say that. That can be true too. There may be disproportional with their sizes. I've had many gay guys tell me, Loose, imagine being grieving after a pinky size broke bloke. What? Yeah, I think that a lot of those stuff is misogynistic. Like calling a woman dirty when she's on her period. I think that's a misogynistic thing. Or saying, "Oh, it wasn't good. Yeah, we spent time together, but it wasn't good." I think that's something to just make the woman feel like something's wrong with her, you know? And that's not true. Don't listen to anybody that tells you that. I would love to sit with a gynecologist and ask them, is it, when men say that, is it a myth? I think a lot of gynecologists said that it is a myth because they're all practically the same unless a woman has had a lot of children. But even then, it goes right back to its normal size. I feel like that's just a way to bring women down. When men say, oh, it wasn't good, or oh, her sex wasn't good, I think that was a way to bring you down after they've conquered you. I always tell women to don't listen to those words. They just want to make you feel bad about yourself. I don't believe it. Enough about the JJ talk. I want to know more about what behind people shaming ritual on your birthday. Herminsky, why are you around people that are making you feel bad on your birthday? All they have to do is say, I'm not interested. Yeah, but they're not going to. That's why you have to use your intuition to find out, is this the right person for me? Don't move in desperation, I always say. Because sometimes you could feel like, I want this so bad. I want a relationship so bad. Let me just give myself to this person and take my chances. Don't do it from that standpoint. Just be patient. Be patient. Okay? Complete myth. Yeah, misogynistic myth. 100%. It's to make the woman feel like her body's not good enough. Yeah. I never believed in that. My grandma always told me those myths were lies. You mentioned dreams. I never dream. Am I doing something wrong? Yeah, you're spiritually blocked. Okay, you guys, I'm getting off. I'm very hungry. I don't want any acid reflux. Okay, I have to go eat something. I haven't had anything but coffee, which is very acidic. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. If you just got here, this full live is on my YouTube. Just go to the live tab, click it. You'll be able to watch everything. Okay, I love you guys so much. The class is this Sunday. I will see you guys on the class this Sunday, Archetypes Part 2. Be there, be square. You don't want to miss it. And I'll see you guys next Sunday for Spiritual Warfare Part 3. Your levelupguru.net. Love you guys.